Hello again. Okay, I'm back. I had to take a timeout. Sorry about that. Okay, so the third party lady was arguing with the airline. Long story short, she couldn't book me another flight, so I had to try to figure it out on my own. However, like I said, she was super cool, and she was like, "I will stay on the phone with you until we figure this out." So New York is huge. Their airport is huge. So I actually had to take a shuttle bus from where I was to get to my next flight. So this whole event, just me trying to get to the help desk, took maybe 30, 40 minutes just for me to get to ask somebody for help. So then I get in line to ask for help. Now, mind you, I still got the lady on the phone with me, right? She's being super cool. And so I get to the counter, and then there's another lady behind the counter who is obviously annoyed because it's now late into the evening, and there's lots of people who have canceled flights or missed flights or this and that, and they're trying to help all these people, and you know how people are. So I know that she's already annoyed. So I'm not going to get to the counter and be one of those people who is going to be upset and disgruntled. I'm just going to be happy, and I'm just going to keep smiling, right? We're just going to keep smiling. We're going to keep on swimming, right? So that we can get home. So I get to the counter and I'm like, "Hey, I got this lady on the phone. If you want to talk to her about my flight," she's holding something. And she's like, "No, I don't want to talk to her," which I kind of figured was going to happen. So now I'm having to play third party liaison here because supposedly I got the third party on the phone who's supposedly holding me a spot on one of these planes, and I got the help desk lady telling me that she doesn't know what I'm talking about. So, you know what I mean? Again, long story short, trying to shorten this, we finally figure out what I'm talking about, and she sees that I'm not one of those customers who's trying to give her a hard time, and that I'm a happy person trying to get home. And so she's actually being helpful. She's trying to be helpful, and she doesn't know why the computer's acting the way it's acting. And so yeah, and so I'm standing there, and I just had a moment, I had a we'll just call it a coming to Jesus moment, right? And I'm just standing in this airport, and I'm like, even if I was supposed to get on the plane that was canceled, it'd be gone by now. It's going on maybe 9, 10 o'clock now at night, I think it was about. And maybe it was a little earlier. I don't know. I can't remember exactly, but it's getting late. I'm in New York. I'm trying to get to Boston. And so I close my eyes, and I'm just asking God, and I'm just praying to my angels and my ancestors. I'm like, why am I here? I'm aware that this is happening for me, but why? What is happening for me at this? Why am I stuck here at this airport? What's good, spirit? And a man, an older gentleman, and his lady friend, they stroll up right to the counter. They skip the line. They come up to the counter, and he says, "Hey, so and so." He knows the lady behind the counter, and because I'm being a nice customer, she doesn't skip over me. And she's like, "Yeah, I'm helping this lady right now. Give me a moment." And he's standing there, and you can tell that he's annoyed too, but he's just smiling like I am. He's just going with the flow like I am. You know what I mean? Because what are you gonna do, right? What are you gonna do about it? So I'm sorry, someone's walking by in the background. So me and him are just, smiling about the whole, our flight's been canceled thing, trying to get some help. And like I said, I was praying for some guidance and some assistance and a sign. I was just looking for a sign that everything is as it should be, and that everything's going to be okay. And then I don't know where it was coming from. Now that I'm thinking back on it, I don't know where it was coming from, because the help desk was surrounded by restaurants and people. It's noisy in here, okay? I haven't heard any music this whole freaking travel, okay? The whole time I was traveling, no music. It's just chaos. You know what I mean? Just chaos, just noise and loudness and people talking. But for that brief coming to Jesus moment, it was things quieted enough for me to hear some music come from the heavens. I'm going to just call it from the heavens, because I don't know where it was coming from. I couldn't see any music speakers anywhere, and it wasn't it was coming from a direction around me. It sounded like it was coming from above, but I don't know where it was coming from. But it was Seal, Kiss from a Rose. Yeah. Now, see, that may not be so significant to whoever's watching this, but it's significant for me because I just so happen to be a twin flame. If you don't know what that is, feel free to Google it, or you can email me and we can talk about it, because you may be one too. But yeah, I'm a twin flame, and that is my twin flame song. Like when I hear that song, it reminds me of my divine masculine in a big way. And I had told him so many times that like his higher self is like always guiding me and with me. You know what I mean? Whenever I see rabbits, like my spirit animal, I know that like that's partly him, partly, you know, spirit guiding me. Whenever I hear certain songs, like that song in particular, that it's just like be easy. You know what I mean? Like everything is gonna be okay. Like I'm here. Don't worry about it. And so I just like had this peace come over me. Like, okay, I'm stuck here, but I'm not alone. So I think that's the message. Whoever's watching this, if you're watching this, the message for today is you are not alone. If you ask for a sign or you ask for guidance, you will get it, you know, as long as you have established that relationship with your guides and your angels and your higher self. But yeah, and it was even more significant because the gentleman who I told you, the older gentleman who had come up next to me, after the song came over the intercom, no, I'm having a wide open conversation. Like I'm just like I'm talking to the camera now. I was gonna say talking to you guys, but it's like nobody here. It's just me and the camera, right? But like the lady behind the counter was aware of it. The lady on the phone is aware of it. The gentleman on the side of me and his lady friend are aware of it. Like I'm letting everybody know what's going on right now. I'm telling them like, oh my God, this song just came over the intercom. Like I'm super spiritual and that is a sign for me. The gentleman next to me just so happened, and I'm like because I'm telling the lady on the phone, I'm like, the gentleman next to me just so happens to have a tattoo on his arm and it's a red rose. What's my word? Uncanny. It was so uncanny. Yeah. And so they booked me another flight that was delayed. So I had to sit in the airport for not an hour, but more like 3 or 4 hours. I didn't get to Boston until the wee hours in the morning. Yeah. But everything happens for a reason. It was quite the adventure. And I'm looking forward to more of them because it's those moments, man, that just make everything worth it. So yeah, we are not alone. If you ask for guidance, you will get it. Big shout out to my twin flame. Namaste.